right, so we're here with Dan Kaluuya, Spider-Punk himself.
What's that new?
Man, how does it feel to see your spider variant out in the world?
It's so cool, man. It's so cool, man. It's the coolest thing in the world, man. I'm living my dreams, bro. What can I say? You know what I mean?
It's so true. It's so true. Now, you bolted by me on the Black Panther Wakanda Forever carpet.
Yeah.
Because I was too distracted by Michael B. Jordan's suit.
Yeah.
Now, are you coming back for Panther 3?
I wouldn't even know.
You wouldn't even know?
I wouldn't even know.
No idea. All right, that works out. Hey, man. Thank you. Congratulations. Brian Tyree Henry here.
Hello.
Jefferson Morales himself.
Yes, yes.
So, the emotions in this movie are very heavily centered around Miles and his family.
Yes.
How did you approach? Is there any from your family in your approach to Jeff?
Yes. Call out. You know, I know the kind of household I was raised in. I know the kind of parents I had, and I wanted to do the opposite of that. I wanted to make sure that there were all different kinds of flavors represented. You're raising this Afro-Latino son who you don't know is running around being a superhero, but you know that there's secrets, you know that you're trying to reach him, you know that he's growing, and what does that look like? I do not have any kids, so I was like, gee, what? But I mean, you know, it's that thing. I think every parent wants to feel like their child knows they're loved, that their child knows that they're nurtured, while also trying not to strangle their child at the same time. So I love that kind of dynamic that Luna and I bring to Jefferson and Rio, is that at the end of the day, we still care for him, we still love him, no matter what kind of superhero he is out there. He's always been exceptional to us.
Absolutely. And my bosses will throw me into traffic if I don't ask this. Are you coming back as Fastos at some point?
If they have me, I absolutely will answer that call without a doubt.
Okay.
Yes,
all
yes.
Right. Well, thank you.
Of course.
Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we got Daniel Pemberton here, the composer of Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse. What's it like to see all of this built out from the sonic template you laid out in the first movie?
It's crazy. I think the thing that's been interesting about this movie is trying to develop a really strong identity that only feels like that film. I didn't want to write a score that sounds like every other superhero movie, and they didn't want to make a film that looked like every other superhero movie. So we were trying to rewrite the rules from day one. So whereas if you think the first film was rewriting the rules, this film is expanding that rule book, expanding the book. We're trying to create this crazy sonic and visual universe that feels different to anything else that's out there.
It really does, and this one pushes out even further. How do you visualize something like Mumbatan, which is where Spider-Man India is from in the movie?
All right, so Mumbatan is actually a really interesting one. So there's an album that came out in 1982 by a guy called, I think it's Sanjit Singh, I can't pronounce his name properly. Anyway, he made this amazing album called 10 Ragas to a disco beat. And this was an Indian guy making really groundbreaking electronic music in 1982, which sounds like acid house, which basically like rave culture and dance music is built on. He was doing it in 1982. Acid house didn't really start hitting until 86, 87, 88.
Right.
And no one thinks there was someone doing that in India in the 80s. And I wanted to, like, that album influenced the way I approached India. Like, I wanted that vibe for this kind of futuristic vision of the future.
Mission accomplished, and 1982 is early for house. Like, wow, I did not know that. I'm gonna have to Spotify this later.
Yeah, it's called 10 Ragas to Disco Beat. It's an amazing, head of its time record, especially if you know your musical history.
Absolutely. What was it like working with Metro on this? What was it like?
Metro's a great guy, man. Like, the stuff he's produced on this movie is like phenomenal. Like, he's an amazing producer. What I love about him as a producer is he's ambitious in how he approaches a song. You know, he'll do tracks that are like totally stripped back, then he'll do ones that like have so much interesting arrangements and orchestration in them. I got a lot of time for him. Right,
exactly. How are you guys going to change the game for the third one?
Let's not talk about the third one. We're like, everyone here is like, this killed everyone here. Everyone is like, we don't want to think. It's like finishing a marathon, but not one marathon, 3 marathons in a row. And they're like, how do you feel about running those next 3 marathons tomorrow? And you're like, I don't want to talk about that.
All right, well, fair enough. Congrats on the soundtrack. It releases today. Go out there and get that. All right.
Thanks.
We've come a long way from Awkward Black Girl to Insecure, and now you're in the Spider-Verse.
So you say yes. I'm very excited. I claim my roots, and I am just thrilled to be a part of the Spider-Verse.
It is thrilling to have you here. Now, Jessica Drew looks a little bit different than she normally does in here. You're playing a different role with her. What are you bringing to Spider-Woman?
You know, I'm so excited that the filmmakers chose to use their nerdy knowledge of the Spider-Man canon to incorporate this specific arc for Jessica Drew where she happens to be pregnant, kicking ass, taking names on a motorcycle, which I'm terrified of. And I think it's so special. She's also like the only spider person who doesn't wear a mask when she's out here saving the world, because she doesn't have anything to hide. She's like, you could get this work anytime.
Words to live by. Thank you so much, Issa.
Thank you so much.
Justin Thompson and Joaquim de Santos here, directors of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Now, when we talked before the movie, we said that you'd see a lot of cosplay. You're already seeing a lot of cosplay going on in this carpet. There's Spider-Man over here. You got Spider-Punk over there. How does it feel to see all your creations out here in the wild already?
Surreal. I mean, look, a lot of this stuff was sort of out in the world prior to us getting it, but seeing like this version of the characters at this early stage is insane.
It's wild to know that you had an imprint not just on like the movies, not just on, you know, your own childhood dreams, but I see these little kids, they're already dressing up as our characters. We're already like imprinting these dreams on these kids, and it's kind of like, it's hard. I almost want to get emotional about it, but I'm a professional.
We got to keep it professional, right? Tiny Spider-Man 2999.
Crazy, right?
Exactly. How do you feel about the growth from Miles from Into the Spider-Verse to Across? Because my boy is growing up.
Yeah. I mean, I think, look, we've been, every one of us has been on a version of that journey. And I think that relatability, it connected with me immediately. You know, it connected with Justin immediately. There were stories we were telling each other about our childhoods. And with Kemp, that was like, I went through that, I went through that. And then we're on the other side as the parents going through that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the fact that we can bring what our relationship as sons and also as parents, I think it helped inform the most important element of this story, which is Miles and his relationship with his family. Yeah. The emotion that we put into this movie made all of the spectacle matter. And like, we took big risks on the visuals, and we had a lot of fun, and we took a lot of time to get it right. But I think if we hadn't gotten that right, none of it would have mattered.
Honestly, there were versions of these big set pieces when the emotional journey wasn't quite sorted out yet, that were kind of big, loud things that were amazing to look at, but didn't have the impact. Once the story really locked in, it's almost like the visuals changed entirely.
It really did.
It's apparent. It's apparent. So you've gotten us emotionally attached to this boy. What is going to happen? How are you going to top this with Beyond the Spider-Verse?
I mean, look, we've all been on that journey too. I've been at the end of the line where I'm like, I don't know what the next step is. For me, I will say, animation saved my life. I was at a point in my life where I was like, I don't know what's going to happen next. I don't know. And it was animation that sort of came in and swept me off my feet and provided for me. So I think that relatability, again, is something we can impose on Miles and wonder what is he going to do? What's the thing that's going to save Miles?
I think as long as we focus on our characters, as long as we focus on why he's doing what he's doing and why it matters, I think that will always be our North Star, no matter what. But I can tell you, I can promise you, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be spectacular. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be Spider-Man.
So we got Ms. Velez here, Rio Morales herself. How many times did you have to do that speech with Miles? It made me cry in the theater.
It made me cry doing it.
So beautiful. So how, with being his parents in this movie, the emotional sort of connection between him and Rio and his father just really powers the narrative. How much from your personal experience of your mother or your grandmother or anybody comes through in your performance?
I love that you asked that. This is my mom.
Really?
My mom is tough. She raised 8 kids, but she's the most loving, funny, compassionate, beautiful human being in the world. And navigating, you know, a teenager who's about to leave home is not easy, especially in this day and age. Things are hard now.
It really is.
And people are, you know, conflicted about things. They're going through a lot, and I feel being a parent can be scary. And I really just like thought about my mom and spoke to her a lot about choices she made. And so, yeah, I'm honored that I could use her as a role model.
Okay. Since I made everybody cry, I'm gonna do something fun. Did you ad-lib the snap when she snapped at him when he got the bag raid in the trailer?
Do you know the snap has a Puerto Rican flag
Yes.
in it? Isn't that dope? What? Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, I gotta say, the directors were amazing about letting us ad-lib and introduce things. It was so important to them to keep everything authentic. I love that. They were like, is this right? Is this right? You know, I got a text message one night from Phil Lord, and he was like, did we get this right? And that's the kind of people we're working with. It matters. Everything matters. Yeah.
Well, good job, Mama. I cannot wait to see you in part 3.
Thank you.
Peter, nice to meet you.
Hey, great to meet you.
AaronPerineComicBook.com. So, you helped start this whole thing. How wild is it to be here for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse?
It's amazing because the movie is so good. I mean, it's like, it's incredible. I'm truly blown away by it.
I cried twice. It is that good. It is that good. What can you say about how much Miles has grown in between part 1 and part 2 here?
Oh, you know, he's a kid in the process of growing. You know, during this movie, you really see his arc kind of become something so clear and so definite. I think it's during this movie that you realize, oh my God, he's growing up. You know, there's a very definite point, and it's I don't know. I think the audience is going to feel like they're really on a journey with him. You know, much like they were in the first movie, but it's an evolution. You know, it really is a continuation of his emotional state. That's the big success of the movie.
Right on. So you directed the first one, you're a producer on this one, you're a producer for Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse too. How are you guys going to keep upping the ante? Because it just keeps getting crazier, more and more spiders, more and more amazing worlds. You guys got to block our socks off with the third one?
Of course. Are you kidding? No, I have no idea how it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. If there's one thing that I think anybody's learned from these couple of movies, it's like the sky really is the limit. You know, there's just no. It's imagination. There's hundreds of people who bring all their imagination to the table, and nothing can stop that.
That's true. Absolutely. Well, thank you for the time, Pete. Congratulations.
Pleasure.
Thank you. We got Yuri Lowenthal, the voice of Spider-Man from the games here, already in Spider-Man 2 garb.
They wouldn't let me wear this in public until about 5 days ago. So.
Yeah, listen, they got on lock and key. So what's it like to see Spider-Verse? What is it like to see another version of this character?
I love it. That first movie is one of my favorite movies of all time. And so I have such high hopes for this, but for everything that I've heard is that I'm not going to be disappointed.
Oh, cool.
I can't wait.
It is amazing. So does that mean you're not in this one?
Well, you saw the trailer, right? I guess you're going to have to go see the movie to see if I'm in it. All I know is that my son has been watching the trailer for the Indian Spider-Man trailer on a loop the entire time. I can't wait to see Indian Spider-Man.
Pav is amazing. It's one of the highlights of the entire thing. All right, can you tease a little bit of Spider-Man 2 for us? The trailer came out, broke the internet. Everybody's super excited to see what happens to Peter and Miles. What do you got?
All I can say is you ain't seen nothing yet. And here's the thing. I know they waited a long time to drop the gameplay, but you know, if it's coming out this fall, it means you only got a few months to wait. Like, it's coming soon. I'm not gonna say a thing.
Fair enough.
I'm not even supposed to be here tonight.
Listen, he was never here. Yuri was never here. Wait, this never happened. Well, good luck with the game. We're so excited. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Stephen Amell right here for Spider-Verse. Now, you're part of this whole generation of heroes that really kickstarted this whole superhero craze.
I'm part of a verse. It's just not the Spider-Verse.
It's not the Spider-Verse, that's true. The Arrowverse, named for you.
Thank you.
What's it like to see everything kind of wrap up with the Flash?
Oh, I think it's good. I think everything ended well. I was there for Blake Neely to score the last episode of The Flash.
Absolutely.
The last cue that he did was called 641, because that's how many episodes that he scored in the Arrowverse.
Wow.
So I think 641 episodes of anything is
successful.
pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
How's Heels going? How are you holding up with the wrestling?
Good. Well, I'm good. I'm just about to start promoting the second season. It's coming out July 28th.
Go watch that.
July 28th.
Go watch that.
And then, so I'm about to be on the whole rigmarole. But right now I'm just here with my family, and my daughter and I saw the first Into the Spider-Verse. in the theater when she was much younger. So this will be really fun.
Right. She's growing up with Miles.
That's right.
One more to go. Well, man, congratulations
Appreciate you.
so
Thank
much,
you,
man.
brother.
No problem, man. Hey, comicbook.com. Can I ask you about Hawkman, my man?
Yeah, let's get it. Let's get
All right. So we got Aldous Hodge right here for Spider-Verse. Obviously a very inspirational film. You said that when you prepared for Hawkman, you thought a lot about how important it was for people like us to see ourselves on screen. What do you think about what Spider-Verse has been able to do with representation?
So for me, one of the grandest things that it does is it normalizes seeing us in these places where people have to accept us without question. Right? Oh, why are you there? And do we have to explain our way? No, it just is what it is, right? That's the, to a degree, in terms of representation, equity that we're also looking for culturally, is to just walk in a space without having to explain why we're there or who we are. Just accept that it's normal. So I love to see that, because when you see little black and brown kids and they're looking at that, and for them, that's what they're gonna grow up with, they're not gonna know anything different. So this might be a little bit further down the line, but we're talking about changing the mindset of a generation, the next generation, and they're gonna treat how they see themselves differently than we treated ourselves, and they're gonna do it in a more progressive way. So it means a lot.
It does mean a lot. Now, so we moving the culture forward. Have you talked to James Gunn about being Hawkman in the new DCEU?
I ain't got to James yet. But, you know, we'll see. I mean, if they get back around to it, I'm ready.
James, you heard the man. Make sure you can wear the wings, man.
Let's get it, man. I'm ready to strap up, get back in the wings.
That's right.
That's right.
Well, thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you.